What if I told you that ancient civilizations created materials and structures that our modern technology still can't fully replicate? We've put humans on the moon, split the atom, and created artificial intelligence, yet there are techniques from thousands of years ago that continue to baffle scientists today. Today, we're diving into 5 lost technologies that prove ancient civilizations were far more sophisticated than we often give them credit for. And stick around until the end, because number 1 will completely change how you think about ancient engineering. Let's get started. Our first lost technology comes from ancient Rome, and it's literally holding up better than modern infrastructure. Roman concrete, also known as opus caementicium, was used to build structures like the Pantheon and the Colosseum over 2,000 years ago. Here's the mind-blowing part. These structures are still standing, while modern concrete highways and bridges often need major repairs after just 50 years. So what made Roman concrete so special? The Romans mixed volcanic ash with lime and seawater to create a chemical reaction that actually made the concrete stronger over time. When seawater seeped into the concrete, it triggered the growth of rare minerals like tobermorite and philipsite, which reinforced the structure from within. Modern scientists have analyzed Roman concrete for decades, and while we now understand the basic chemistry, we still can't perfectly replicate it. Why? Because the Romans didn't leave behind exact recipes or mixing ratios. They relied on oral tradition and hands-on experience passed from master to apprentice. When the Roman Empire fell, this knowledge vanished with it. Today's researchers are working on recreating Roman concrete because it could revolutionize sustainable construction. It's more durable and produces far less carbon emissions than modern Portland cement. But we're essentially reverse engineering a 2,000-year-old recipe, and we're not quite there yet. Next up is a material that was legendary even in its own time, Damascus steel. Between 300 and 1700 CE, bladesmiths in the Middle East forged swords with a distinctive watery or wavy pattern on the blade. But Damascus steel wasn't just beautiful. It was incredibly strong, flexible, and could hold an edge sharp enough to split a hair falling across it, or so the legends say. The secret was in the wootz steel imported from India, which contained just the right amount of carbon and trace elements. When forged at specific temperatures, using techniques passed down through generations, it created a microstructure with carbon nanotubes and cementite nanowires. Features that material scientists didn't even know existed until the 21st century. But by the 1700s CE, Damascus steel production mysteriously ceased. The most likely explanation? The source of the wootz steel from Indian mines was exhausted, and bladesmiths didn't fully understand the chemistry involved. They just knew the process worked. Modern metallurgists have created steel with similar patterns and even similar microstructures, but there's ongoing debate about whether we've truly recreated authentic Damascus steel or just made something that looks similar. The original forging techniques, with their precise temperature controls and hammering patterns, were never written down. It's a reminder that sometimes the most advanced technology isn't about having scientific understanding. It's about generational knowledge refined through thousands of hours of practice.
Now, let's talk about one of history's most terrifying weapons, Greek fire. In 672 CE, the Byzantine Empire unveiled a secret weapon that would dominate naval warfare for centuries. Greek fire was a liquid incendiary that could burn on water, couldn't be extinguished by water, and could be sprayed at enemy ships through bronze tubes. Imagine a medieval flamethrower that worked even better at sea. The Byzantines guarded the formula so zealously that only the emperor and the Kallinikos family were allowed to know it. Anyone who revealed the secret faced execution. Byzantine ships equipped with Greek fire destroyed entire enemy fleets, and the weapon was credited with saving Constantinople from multiple sieges. But this extreme secrecy had a downside. When the Byzantine Empire fell in 1453, the formula for Greek fire was lost forever. Modern historians and chemists have proposed dozens of theories. Was it based on petroleum? Did it contain quicklime, sulfur, or naphtha? Some researchers think it might have included calcium phosphide, which spontaneously ignites when exposed to water. Others suggest a combination of resins and secret ingredients that created a napalm-like substance. We can make incendiary weapons today that are far more destructive, of course, but the specific formula for Greek fire, this exact mixture that burned on water and could be deployed from hand-pumped bronze siphons in the 7th century, remains one of history's best-kept secrets. It's the ultimate example of security through obscurity taken to the extreme.
Here's one that music lovers will appreciate: the Stradivarius violin. Between 1650 and 1750, Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari crafted violins in Cremona, Italy. They're still considered the finest instruments ever made. Today, Stradivarius violins sell for millions of dollars, and professional musicians insist they produce a sound quality that modern violins simply cannot match. But here's where it gets interesting. We've analyzed every millimeter of these instruments. We know the wood types, the varnish composition, the exact measurements. Modern luthiers have created nearly atomic-level copies of Stradivarius violins using lasers and computer modeling. Yet something is missing. Blind listening tests have shown mixed results. Some experts can't tell the difference, while others insist the originals have a warmer, more complex tone. What made Stradivarius violins special? Theories abound. Maybe it was the Little Ice Age climate that created denser wood. Perhaps Stradivari's varnish contained unique minerals or organic compounds that we haven't identified. Some researchers think the wood was treated with chemicals for preservation that accidentally improved the acoustics. Others point to the cumulative effect of centuries of playing that breaks in the instrument in ways we can't artificially replicate. Or, and this is where it gets controversial, maybe it's partially psychological. The mystique and history of holding a 300-year-old masterpiece might influence how we perceive its sound. The truth is, we may never know for certain. Stradivari never documented his exact process, and the combination of materials, techniques, environmental factors, and aging creates a puzzle with too many variables to solve definitively. And now for the #1 lost technology, one that's so remarkable it sounds like science fiction: Roman flexible glass, or vitrium flexo. According to ancient Roman historians Pliny the Elder and Petronius, during the reign of Emperor Tiberius, around 14 to 37 CE, a craftsman invented a type of glass that was flexible and virtually unbreakable. The inventor brought a glass bowl to the emperor, and when Tiberius threw it on the ground, it only dented. The craftsman then hammered it back into shape as if it were metal. The emperor asked the craftsman if anyone else knew how to make this material. When the inventor said no, Tiberius had him executed. Why? Because the emperor feared this indestructible glass would devalue gold and silver if it became common. Now, modern skeptics argue this story is a myth or an exaggeration, but here's the thing. The story appears in multiple, independent ancient sources, and Roman glassmaking was incredibly advanced. They invented glass blowing and created the first clear glass. If Roman flexible glass really existed, how did they make it? We have no idea. Modern materials science has created flexible glass. Corning's willow glass can bend without breaking. We also have metallic glasses with unusual properties. But could ancient Romans, without understanding materials science at the molecular level, have stumbled upon a glass formulation that we haven't rediscovered? The most likely explanation is that the story was embellished over time, perhaps based on a particularly flexible type of glass that doesn't seem special by today's standards. But the romantic in me wants to believe that somewhere in ancient Rome, a craftsman discovered something extraordinary, and that knowledge died with him because a paranoid emperor feared economic disruption. It's a powerful reminder that technological progress isn't linear. Knowledge can be lost just as easily as it's gained, especially when it's not widely shared or properly documented.
So there you have it. 5 lost technologies that show us the ancient world was far more sophisticated than we often imagine. From self-healing Roman concrete to the mystery of Stradivarius violins. These examples prove that advanced technology isn't always about having the latest equipment or scientific understanding. Sometimes it's about generational knowledge, careful observation, and techniques refined over lifetimes of practice. The common thread? Most of these technologies were lost because the knowledge was either too closely guarded, not properly documented, or so dependent on specific materials and conditions that it couldn't survive disruption. It makes you wonder, what technologies are we using today that future generations might struggle to replicate? What knowledge are we failing to preserve? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.